Changing menus in WordPress is very easy thanks to the point-and-click interface they have, which gives us a wonderful visual representation of our menus. I'm going to go ahead and come over here and open up the WordPress Administrative Dashboard in a separate tab over here. And I'm going to come down underneath Appearance. We have Menus right here. I'm going to click on that, and that's going to take me into the interface for the menus. And here we see we have our primary navigation menu, which is this right here. And you'll see we have 5 main items, and we have a submenu that comes out. And if you come over here, you'll see that we have all 5 of these pages that we have right out front, along with these 4 submenu items that are the submenu that comes down right here. And the only thing different between these items and the other ones is that they're moved over a little bit. When items in here are moved over a little bit slightly to the right, they become sub-items of whatever parent item is over here flush with the left-hand side of the interface. I'm going to come over here and just grab About and just pull it over is all I'm going to do. Now you're going to see it's tagged with sub-item. Now, but I can make as many changes back here and do whatever I want. None of these become live on the front of the site until I click Save Menu. When I do that, they become live, and I come out here and refresh. And now you're going to see that About has disappeared. And when I hover over Train with Alicia, I get About that pops up right here. If I come back over here and I grab this, pull this right over here, and instead of having it right here, I just pull it right here flush, you'll see sub-item disappears. And when I click Save now, you're going to see we have About right here back where it was before. So how do we add and delete menu items? Okay, let's say that I wanted to put our privacy policy right between About and Contact. So how would I do that? Well, up here you'll see we have pages. We also have links, and we have categories. Links is a way to add a custom link into this menu. You would put the URL right here and then give the menu item a name and click Add to Menu. If it was a blog category, I would select them. I would come over here to View All, and I can see all of them. Here I have the most used. Here I have View All, and here I have an ability to search. You see I can click here, and it will automatically look and give me ideas. Should have Chitter Chatter. Maybe I spelled that wrong. Oh, they may have to have a blog item used. Let's look at must. We see we have must-haves, yeah. For them to show up in the search, a blog item must be used. It's not just enough to have the category in there. It must have been used at least once. I do remember that from prior videos that we've done. Here, under View All, though, if you don't see here which are most used, which are going to show you the ones that have been most used, and you don't find what you want in search, you can click on View All, and that's going to show you everything that's in there, whether they're used or not. And those are the categories, and that's what we've done here for training, nutrition, must-haves, and chitter-chatter. We've added blog categories there, and what that does is that automatically just displays only those blog items from that category with 10 items per page, and then it gives them paging navigation for the rest. So, but what we're most interested in is pages, because most of the time you're going to add pages to your site or delete pages or want to change the name of a page or something like that. When you change the name of a page and it's represented here in the menu, it will automatically change that menu item entry unless you've done something here. These menu items don't actually have to be named what they're named. For instance, this is called Train with Alicia, but I could just as easily come under here, and when I open that up, you'll see right here we've got this little arrow. I open it up. Now, I can take and I can name this whatever I want. And once I change the name here, I can just come over here and click Save Menu, and it's going to change the name out front. Now, it's still going to point to the same place. It doesn't matter. So I don't have to have these pages. They don't have to remain consistently named between menus and stuff to still point to the same place. But be aware that if you do manually change these, then if you were to come into the page and actually change the name of the page, that will not update this here. So just be aware that there is an automatic update between the names of pages and menu items until you change that navigation label. Once you've changed this navigation label, that stops that, and WordPress goes, no, they put in a custom navigation label. We're not going to change that. Call the page whatever you want, but we're going to call it this in the navigation. We're going to point to that page. It's not going to change its pointer. It's still going to point to that page, but the navigation label will be changed, and the automatic update from the page name to the navigation label will stop because you've given it a custom navigation label. So just be aware of that. Now, if I wanted to add pages or delete pages, right here we have most recent, view all, and search. I'm going to go ahead and come over here to most recent. Whenever you add a page, the last page you added are going to show up right here. Okay, so and they're going to show up in whatever order that they've been put in. So right here, privacy policy was the last page that we built. So I'm going to go ahead and click on privacy policy and then click add to menu. And you're going to see now it adds it down here. I could come in here and change the navigation label if I want to. Title attribute is for SEO. You don't have to worry about that. And then once I have that in there, maybe for instance I want it between about and contact, or maybe I even want it as a sub menu of about. And then I go ahead and I click save. When I come back out here and I refresh, now you're going to see that when I hover over about, I have a link to our privacy policy page. When I click, I go to the page with the privacy policy for Sport and Fit on it. But I don't actually want that there. We're linking to that in the bottom. We certainly don't need a link to that in the primary menu. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to expand this menu item and I'm going to click remove. And you're going to see that's now removed. Then I click save. And now when I refresh the page out here and I hover over about, I no longer get that drop-down menu. So that is how you add and remove and adjust WordPress menus. Simple as that. As you'll notice down here on the very bottom, there is also another menu down here. Okay, and if we hover over here where it says select a menu to edit, and we click, you'll see we have our footer menu. And I'm going to click on that and select, and you'll see now we have a different representation because on the footer menu we don't want any submenus coming up. So we just have links to the primary pages in the system. So just be aware that the menu that you see up here, the primary menu, and the footer menu are actually two different menus. So if you make changes in the one and you want them to be reflected in both the header and the footer, or you add pages and you want them to be reflected in both the header and the footer, you will need to come in and select that menu, make those changes, and save those menus. So this is done for a very good reason because there are space constraints down here. And menu items, submenu items, when they bring up submenus, they look very, very odd down here. So we didn't have any submenu items or anything like that at all. We just left submenu items and everything in the primary menu up here. So just be aware that those two menus are separate in the system. So that is how you add and delete menu items.